Yeah. Hi everyone. In the last session, we discussed what is embedded database and why we need to go for embedded database. What is embedded database and why we need to go for embedded database? Embedded database is called as a in-memory database, right? So that is also called as temporary database. When application starts, then our database will start. When the application is stopped, then our database will be stopped. Why we need to go for embedded database? Right. When you are developing POC for your application, then we can go for embedded database. What is the meaning of POC? Proof of concept. If you want to do some experiment on any technology or any concept, then instead of developing the application with the real database, we will develop that by using embedded database. I have given you a task to develop a project, insert the record and retrieve the records. Did you complete that? Right. So now here we are having, let me create one project here. In this project, I will use embedded database. So let me open my notes. Perfect. Right. Boot application with the embedded database. What is the first step that we need to follow to develop the boot application, guys? Spring create Spring Starter project. Create Spring Starter project with below dependencies. What are the dependencies I'm taking? I'm going to take Web Starter dependency. Then we need JPA Starter. Along with this, we need H2 dependency. As we are going to communicate with the H2 database, H2DB will be available. Lombok will be available. And the next one, Tomcat embed Jasper. Web Starter, JPA Starter, H2 database, Lombok, Tomcat embed Jasper, and we need JSTL dependency. Why we need JSTL? Whatever the data I'm inserting in the database table, I want to display in the another page. To display that data in the page, I will get the list of records. I want to iterate a list of records. To iterate a list of records in the JSP, we are going for JSTL. Web Starter, JPA Starter, H2 database, Lombok, Tomcat embed Jasper, and JSTL dependency we are going to use. After this, configure properties like data source properties we need to configure, and view resolver properties. Data source properties to tell with which database our application should connect. View resolver is used to identify where our view files are available. Right. Once these property files and view resolvers are configured, then create entity class and repository interface. As I want to communicate with the database table, there should be a Java class which is mapped to the database table. The Java class which is mapped to the database table is called as entity class. And to perform operations with the database, we need to go for repository interface. After this, we can create controller class with required methods. I don't have any business logic here. Just I am storing the data and retrieving the data. I'm not creating a service layer. Directly I'm creating my controller. After controller is created, then create view pages. I need to create my view pages. All right. So boot application with embedded database. Create starter project with these dependencies. Once these dependencies are added, configure data source properties and view resolver properties. In which file? We need to configure that in application.properties file. Create entity class and repository interface. Then create controller class with the required methods. Then create view pages. Then run the application. How many view pages are required? How many view pages are required for this requirement? 2 pages are required. One is used to store the data. Another one is used to display the data. So create view pages. So 2 view pages are required here. Read the steps. Creating the project by adding web starter. As we are developing a web application, web starter is required. In my application, I want to communicate with the database. For that, JPA starter required. I'm going to communicate with H2 database. In-memory database, H2 driver, I need that. Then Lombok for setters and getters. As I'm using JSP as a presentation technology to compile the JSP files, we are going for Tomcat embed Jasper dependency. And next one, JSTL. JSTL is used to render our collection in the table format. Fine. After this, data source properties, entity class and repository, controller with required methods, creating the view pages, run the application. Finally, how our application should look like. Here I'm using a database, guys. This is my H2DB. In this DB, my table will be created. Do I need to create the table or it will be taken care by boot? It will be taken care by boot. I just need to specify data source properties. To communicate with this database, we are going to create repository. Our repository will extend the properties from JPA repository. We are creating one interface. That interface will extend the properties from JPA repository. What is the advantage? What is the advantage, guys? Predefined methods are available. You no need to write any methods to perform CRUD operation. So JPA repository will provide predefined methods for our application. Now I'm going to create one controller class. What is the purpose of controller? It is used to take the request and send the response. If you have any business logic in the project, then we will create a service layer. In the morning project class, I have a business logic to generate the query dynamically. For that, I have taken the service layer. Today here, I'm not taking the service layer. Why I am not taking service layer? There is no logic. Just insert the data and retrieve the data. My controller class will contain the methods. My controller methods will call the repository methods. Now, here we will be having one UI page. UI pages will be available. Front-end pages will be available. User interface pages will be available here. Whenever you perform operation on the UI, then it will talk to controller. Controller will talk to repository. Repository will use JPA repository. Here, guys, I'm going to create one class with a name called product. That class I will be using as form binding as well as entity also. I'm using that class as a form binding and as well as entity also. Here in my database, I will take only these 4 columns: ID, name, price, and quantity. From the form, name, price, quantity is coming. If you want, you can take separate class for form binding, separate class for entity. Here my form, my table data is almost same. So that's why I'm taking one class called product class. This product class I will be used for, I'm using this form binding as well as entity. What is the difference between form binding and entity? The Java class, which is responsible to capture the form data, the Java class which is responsible to capture the form data, that class is called as form binding class. My controller will use the form binding class. My UI form will be linked with the form binding class. My repository will be linked with this entity class. Along with this, I'm going to take one properties file, application.properties. What will be there in the application.properties? My data source properties will be available and view resolver properties also will be available. So this is the project that we need to develop. This is the whole project that we need to develop now. Whatever the requirement I have given, for that requirement, we need to create our application like this. Database. Database is a in-memory database. I'm using H2DB. Whenever you are trying to develop a project, first draw diagram like this so that you will understand what classes we need to develop in our project, right? How many components we need to create in our project. First prepare a plan like this. I need a database. My database is a H2, nothing but in-memory database. In order to communicate with the H2 database, I will create a repository interface. To create the repository interface, entity class is required. So first I will create one entity class. First I will create one entity class. Sleeping. I will create one entity class. The same entity class I'm using for form binding also. Got it. Then controller. What is the purpose of controller in the web MVC? It is going to take the request and it will give the response. Then UI pages will be available. Front end logic will be available. In the front end, I need to display form. I need to display form in the front end. Form will be binded to Java object. That is my product object. Same repository will be mapped to the product. Product is entity. One class I'm using for two purposes. I'm using the same class for form binding and the same class for entity also. All right. Shall we start the development now? Good. So go here, create a project, file, new, starter project. Let me create 17th application, WebMVC H2DB product application. Product application. Next, select the dependencies, web starter, data JPA, Lombok, H2, dev tools. What else is missing? Jasper is missing and JSTL is missing. Click on next, click on finish. Jasper and JSTL. From where we can get those dependencies? From mbnrepository.com, we can get those dependencies. mbnrepository.com, search for Tomcat embed Jasper. Click on this. Tomcat embed Jasper. Take the dependency, copy this dependency, go to pom.xml. Go to pom.xml. Let us configure Tomcat embed Jasper. Now, ID version not required. Along with this, I need to configure JSTL, javax.servlet, and artifact ID I'm taking as JSTL. That's it. So two dependencies manually I have added. In the IDE, those options are not coming, guys. Manually I have taken embed Jasper and JSTL dependency. Perfect. So with this, my project is ready. Now, database H2. Let us configure database properties here. Go to application.properties file. What is the first step? Completed. Project is created. Dependencies also added. Second step, configure data source properties and view resolver properties. With which database I want to connect? I want to connect with the H2 database. Let us go here and configure the data source properties. Come on, what is the key? First, spring dot data source dot URL. I need to configure data source URL. Spring dot data source dot username. Right. Spring dot data source dot password. I need to give the password, not the DBCP, just a data source password. Then spring dot data source dot driver class name. Perfect. Next one, URL. Can you tell me the URL here? JDBC : H2 : mem : yes, you can give anything. Yesterday I have given testDB. Today I am giving as SBMS. This is our database schema name and username. Can I give anything as a username? Yes, Ashok ID, IT@123, something like this. Your wish. What username and password you want to give, you can give there. What is the driver class name? org.h2.driver. Fine. With this, my data source properties are ready. Now I want to configure view resolver. How to configure view resolver? Come on, first. What is the, first of all, why we need view resolver? What is the purpose of view resolver? view resolver is used to identify where our view files are available. Now, come on, tell me that. Spring dot MVC dot view dot prefix is equal to slash pages, something like this, whatever you want. Now, spring dot MVC dot view dot suffix, that is a dot JSP. So with this, my data source properties are ready and my view resolver is also ready. First step completed and the second step also completed. What is the third step? Entity class and repository interface. Now, here, as you see the requirement, I want to store the name, price, and quantity. For this, I need to maintain one primary key in the table, ID I will take. From the front end, ID will not come, but in the table, ID should be available. So I will auto generate that value. Now, create one entity class, go to this package, new class. Let me keep entity as a package for this. I'm using class name as product. So let me take the variables, private integer product ID, private string name, private double price, private integer quantity. ID, name, price, and quantity. It is a normal Java class. Let us generate setters and getters by using @data. And I want to make this class as a entity class. How to make it? By using @entity. Perfect. And I want to map this column to primary key, @ID. And I want to generate the value for primary key, generated value. Fine. With this, our entity class is ready. Entity class is ready. Let us create repository interface. Fine. New interface @repo. So what I will do? Product repository. Fine. Normal Java interface. Let us make this as a JPA repository. Extends from JPA repository. What is the type? The type is product. Primary key. The primary key is a integer. For this, do I need to write this annotation? Is it mandatory or optional? Why it is optional? Already our interface extending the properties from JPA repository. So writing this annotation is optional. Are you clear? Good. If you are writing normal DAO class without data JPA, then I will write @repository. Fine. With this, our entity class is ready. Repository interface also ready. What next? I need to create my controller. Controller is a mediator between the UI and repository. Take the data from the UI, give to the repository. Take the data from the repository, give to the UI. It is just a mediator. Now, go and create controller class. Right. New class product controller. Let me keep that also in a separate package. Product controller in.ashokit.controller package. Right. Normal Java class. How to make it as a controller? By using @controller annotation. @controller annotation. First, I want one method in my project to load the form. Just I want to load one empty form. To load the empty form, I need one method in the controller. Right. So let me create a method in the controller, public string load form. Right. When I am loading the form, I want to send binding object to bind to the form. Can I send the data from controller to UI? How can I send the data from controller to UI? Right. Model is available. Model is available. Now let us map it to get mapping /empty. Why? I don't want to give any URL. Whenever you send localhost :8080, then I want to call this method. For this method, we are having model object as a parameter. Got it? Now in this model object, I want to send binding object to the form. Tell me how to do that. Come on, guys. Model dot add attribute of key comma value. My key I'm giving as a product. Now I'm going to send new product object. With this, my product object can be accessed in the view page, right? Then return the page name as something like index, right? So with this, index page will be loaded whenever you send request for this method. Index page we need to create. Page is not available. I need to create my index page. So what is the meaning of @controller? What is the meaning of @controller? To represent this class as a controller class. What is the purpose of this method? To load the form. This method is binded to get request. What is the URL pattern? Slash is the URL pattern. Public string load form model object. Model dot add attribute key comma value. Add attribute key comma value. Product is the key. Product object is the value. I'm returning index. I'm returning index. So here model is going to contain the key and value, and view page will be returned. In this view page, whatever the data is there in the model, we can access by using this key, right? Now let us go to our pages, SRC main web app. In the web app currently, nothing is available in the web app. So this is my web app. Currently nothing is available. So I am going to create pages folder, new folder called pages. You can give any name for that. In these pages, let us create one JSP file, right? JSP file, I'm creating with a name called index.jsp. Next, finish. Now here, let me load this. Product info. Just I'm writing one dummy message. I want to see this page is getting loaded or not. Refresh. Right click, run as boot application. Observe. Application started. You can check this. Tomcat server started with 8080. H2 console also started. Right. Go to browser. Check this. Localhost : 8080. Page loading or not. Can we check the database also? How to check the database? Localhost : 8080/h2-console. So database is opened. What is the URL? TestDB or SBMS? SBMS. What is the username? Ashok IT. I have given password IT@123. Click on connect. Yes, I'm able to connect with my H2 database. Click on this table name. Select star from product. Run this. Data available, data not available. Did I ask Spring Boot to create the table or automatically it created? Whenever you are using H2 database in the project, for every entity class, one table will be created by default in the database. You no need to write DDL auto property also. Table will be created based on the entity class. If I have 10 entities, then 10 tables will be created. Good. So with this, my page is loaded. Now I want to develop my form. To develop this form, I want to use form tag library. We discussed in the last session how to use the form tag library. In this form, everything is a text field only, form : input. Right. Let us include tag library here. Control _ tag lib directive. JSTL tags or form tags. Last one is our form tag. Prefix is form. Perfect. So here, let us develop a form, a basic form we need to develop. To develop the form, what is the tag? Come on, guys. Form : form. Form : form. Here I will give action and model attribute. Then method. Okay. Method is post. Yeah. What is the action? Whatever you want to do with this, right? Post product I'm giving. Whenever you click on submit button, request will go to product URL. What is the model attribute? See here. What is my controller sending? key as what? Product. If I keep key as P, then what is the key? What is the model attribute I need to configure? I need to configure model attribute also as P. Model attribute is P. Now I want form. Table. TD. TD. So here I will be taking name. Then here I need to take text field. What is the tag for the text field? Form colon input path. What I need to give as a path? Variable name. Which field should be mapped to which variable? That will be configured. So here name is the variable. Name field data should be stored into name variable. Similarly, price and quantity. Right. Let me take price. Here, what is the path? Price is the path. Let us take this. Next one, quantity. So here, what is the variable? QTY, quantity. Yes, that's it. Now I need to give a button to save this data. I want to send a request to the form. For that, I need to add one button. Right. Input type is equal to submit and value is equal to save. Okay. Value is equal to save. TD. Input type is equal to submit. Value is equal to save. All right. Perfect. Let us run the application and see form is loading or not. Boot application. Clear the console. Clear this data. Go to here. Browser. Refresh. Yes, our form is coming. Product info. Okay. Good. I want to see whether my data is getting saved or not. Okay. For that, I need to write one method in my controller. So in the UI, form is there. Form is binded to post method. Action is equal to product. Go to controller. Inside the controller, we need to write one method that is responsible to save our form data and send a success message to the UI. Public string handle submit button. Handle save. Okay. Now, after this, I want to return one page with a name called, or I want to display same page with the message. I want to display same page with the message. Fine. This method is responsible to handle post request. For that, I am going for post mapping. URL that I have given as product. URL I have given as product. Now, I want to capture form data. Do I need to capture manually or I can take object as a parameter? Do I need to capture manually? No. Product P comma model. What is this first parameter and what is this second parameter? What is the first parameter and what is the second parameter? First parameter is the form data binding object. Second parameter is the model object. This is the input data from the form. This is used to send the output data to the form. Right. Now I want to save this product. Do I need to write a method or I can use my repository? Repository. How to call repository method from the controller method? Inject repository into controller. Private product repository repo. How to do the injection? @auto wiring. Yes, come on, tell me the code. Repository dot save of P. Do I need to copy from one object to another object? Not required. I'm using single class for entity as well as binding. Repository dot save method. Right. When I use repository dot save method, what is the return type of the save method? What is the return type of the save method? Entity object. That is a binding object. Now, if P dot get to PID not equal to null, what is the meaning of that? Record is inserted successfully. I want to send success message if record is inserted. How to send success message? model dot add attribute. I want to send a message, right? Message like product saved. Product saved. I want to print that message. All right. So this is my method which is responsible to handle save functionality. Responsible to handle save functionality. This message I want to print on the UI page. How to print this message on the UI? Can I use message like this? Yes. Color. Something like green. Perfect. So once the product is saved, my controller will send a success message to the UI, and in that UI page, I'm printing that message by using expression language. $key, which is used to access the value. Perfect. Clear, refresh, run as boot application. Good. Go to project 8080. Application loaded. Go to database. We need to reload the database. Why database is reloaded? Application got restarted. Now my table does not have any data. Enter some values. Mouse, price 500, quantity 5. Click on save. Failed. Neither binding result nor target object. Yeah, data is inserted, guys. Record is inserted. Whenever this page getting reloaded, when this page getting reloaded, index page, product P available or not available? Not available. After inserting the record, I am returning the same page. Okay. How I need to return the same page? For the same page, this product object is required because model attribute is available. Now, what I want to do is, first time when I send a get request, in the model, I'm setting the product object. That product object is mapped to our form. First time, there is no issue. After submitting the form, request is coming to post request. In the post request, I captured the product object. I'm saving that product object in the database. Then I'm setting success message. I'm returning index. When I return index, it is checking for P in the model. So P is available in this model. P is not available in this model. Not available. That's why form binding, it is not able to do that. Then how to fix that issue? In the morning class also we got the problem. How to fix this issue? @model attribute. What is the benefit of @model attribute? Whatever the data coming in the form binding object, same object I want to send back to the UI. That is the reason we are using model attribute. Now my application restarted, so my database also will restart. Click on connect. Table, select star from product, no record available. Now go here, request. Now let me go for mouse, price, quantity. Click on save. Product got saved. Go to database, run this query, record is inserted. Fine. Now you can insert one more record also. Hard disk 500, quantity 10. Click on save. Product got saved. Go to console. Can you see second record also available? Yes, with this we are able to insert our record. Are you clear with these two methods now? One method is used to load the form. One point that you need to remember, when our method is loading, I'm sending binding object. I'm sending empty binding object. Why I am sending empty binding object? Why I am sending empty binding object? I want to load the form with empty fields, right? After form is submitted, I'm returning the same page. To load the same page, again binding object is required. Whatever the binding object I'm getting as a method parameter, I want to send the binding object back to the UI. For that, we are using an annotation called model attribute. Okay. Suppose if I don't use this annotation, then what I need to do? In the second method also, I need to write this line. I want to send binding object again. Whenever our form is loading, binding object should be available to map the data. Got it? Now I want to display one hyperlink here to display products in the table. I want to display one hyperlink in the page. When I click on the hyperlink, it should go to the next page. In the next page, it has to display the records. Are you clear with my point? Yes. Let me add one hyperlink in the page. Index.jsp. Here, let me add one hyperlink. ahref. ahref is equal to some value and view products. You can write one hyperlink. Okay. For this hyperlink, I'm giving the URL pattern as products. I'm giving the URL pattern as products. What is the meaning of that? Whenever you click on this hyperlink, it will send get request to this URL. Whenever you click on view products, it will send a get request to this URL called view products. Are you clear with my point? Yes, good. Now let us load our page again. 8080 product. Yes, I'm getting one hyperlink. When I click on view products, what happened? White label error page 404. What is the meaning of 404? Request is invalid. Whatever the request I'm trying to access, that request is not available in the server. Whatever the request I'm trying to access, that request is not available in the server. Good. Fine. Now here in this controller, I will write one more method, right? So what is the purpose of that method now? It is responsible to get the data from the table and send to the UI. In the UI, I need to display the data in the table format. Got it? So I need to retrieve all the records available in the table. How to retrieve all the records available in the table? Come on. How to retrieve all the records available in the table? Find all method is available. Now, let us go to our controller. Writing controller method is very easy now. Public string load products. Public string load products. Now, am I going to get any input from the UI or I need to send only output? No input because user will click only hyperlink. I'm not getting any input. So user, I mean to say client will simply click on the hyperlink. Request will come. I need to get the data. I need to send the data. For this, I'm writing a method. That method I'm binding to get request. For that, I'm using get mapping URL pattern / products. So there are two get request methods available. One is binded to empty URL. Another one is binded to products URL. In this method, I'm taking model object as a parameter. And I want to return one in page. I want to return my view page. So you can take view page name as something like data. So that means in that page, I will display my data. Got it? Fine. How to get the data from the repository? How to send to the UI? Come on. How can I get the data? How can I send the data to the UI? Repository dot find all. What is the return type? What is the return type? List of products. Now, can I directly add it? Model dot add attribute key comma value. What is the key? You can give anything. Products I'm giving as key comma repo dot find all. Right. That's it. Right. So here, whenever get request comes to my method will call repo.findAll. Whatever that list coming from the repository, that list will be stored into model object by using key comma value. I'm returning data. In this data page, this data is an index page. In this data page, I can access the key to access the values. Based on the key, I can get the value. My key is a string, value is a collection. Value is list of products, right? Now, let us go to the pages. In the pages, let us create one JSP file. That file name I'm giving as data.jsp. Click on next, click on finish. Now in this JSP page, what I need to do? I want to print a table. In the table, I need to print the data. Collection of records will come. In the table, 10 records can available, 2 records can available, 100 records also can available. I want to get the data and I want to print the data. Got it? In order to print a list in the JSP, we will go for JSTL, right? So now already in the pom.xml, I have added my JSTL dependency. Go to pom.xml, you can see that Java x.servlet, JSTL. What is the meaning of this? We are adding JSTL dependency in the pom.xml. We can add that taglib here. Control double space, taglib directive, JSTL core tag library, prefix is C. Right, you can use anything as a prefix. Recommended one is C. Now, I want to print a table. Any difference in the morning class and evening class? Whatever we have done in the morning, same thing we are doing again, so that you will get more clarity. Right. Table and T head, close this. Then T body, T head and T body is available. TH, right. Let us keep my serial number, TH, name, serial number, name, price, quantity. Serial number, name, price, and quantity. So table row will be printed. Now I need to print a body. In the body, in the table row, table contains how many rows for the header? Header will be there in one row. For body, based on the number of records. I want to iterate that collection. What is the name of the collection now? Products is my collection. Go here, then C colon for each. It is a tag library tag to iterate the data in the JSP. For each items is equal to dollar of products. Then next one. Now here each record from the collection I want to store into P variable, or I can store into product variable. So it is something like a for each loop, guys. I'm giving items is equal to dollar of products. What is the meaning of dollar of products? It is my collection object. From the collection, take one product and store into this variable. From the collection, take one product and store into this variable. Then I want to print that record in one row. If I have 3 records, 3 rows should be created. If I have 5 records, 5 rows should be created. For each record, I want to create one row. If a loop is executed for one time, then one row will be created. If a loop executed for 2 times, 2 rows will be created. Now in this row, let us print data, TD. Now serial number, product, where status, index, index.count, dollar, dollar is expression, index.count. Guys, yesterday I have seen one poster in the Amirpet, JSP free batch. Is there any use of that basically? So one famous institute announced a batch, JSP free batch. Kya fayda hai bhai? What is the use of that? And they will teach that JSP for 1 month. Literally, they are wasting the students' time. Time pass. There is no use of that. Huh? Syllabus document contains JSP, na? So if I skip this topic, people will complain. Sir is not covering all the topics. So I need to give you some basic idea how to develop a web application. I'm taking the JSP, not much, just 2 to 3 examples, or for example, very basic idea I'm giving on the JSP. So basically, do we need to spend our time on the JSP? Not required. The thing here, the thing what you need to learn from this class is how to write the logic. How to write the logic. If I want to insert the data, how to get the form data, how to insert in the table, how to retrieve the data, how to send to the UI. JSP part, you forget about it. After this JSP, maybe Monday, I will explain time leaf. I will explain time leaf. That is better than JSP. But today, anybody using time leaf? No. People are using Angular or React. Angular or React. But as per the syllabus, we should not skip the topic. That's why I'm just giving the overview. How to work with JSP, how to work with the time leaf. But you no need to spend much time on these concepts. Just you need to focus on your logic building. Your analysis part you need to improve. Okay. So in the upcoming classes, we will learn Angular. Then maja aayega. Backend will be developed with Spring Boot. Front end will be developed with Angular. Front end to backend integration we have to do. That is the real full stack development. We have to do it. But directly I can't. If I teach Angular now in the JRTP, what will happen? Kichdi. It will become Kichdi. You cannot understand backend development. You will not understand front end development. One day I will develop backend API. One day I will develop front end. Third day I will integrate both. Fourth day you will not come to the class. Yes or no? Yes or no? One day I will, today morning I have explained API, project I have developed in the project batch. I know that 90% of the people not able to understand. Yes or no? 90% of the people not able to understand. I know that. 90% of the people are not able to develop that. Monday, if I explain Angular UI for that, 100% people will not understand. Tuesday, I will integrate both. For me, it is easy. I can do it. But your mindset is not ready to grab that content. So as I can't do the full stack right now, when I can do the full stack, if you already familiar with the Angular front end, then I can develop full stack parallelly. But now I don't want to do that experiment. If I do that experiment, that will become Kichdi. You cannot understand anything. So first focus on the backend development. Once you feel you are great in the backend development, then we will stop the backend for 15 to 20 days of time. Then we will completely focus on the Angular development. Once the Angular development is completed, then we will integrate backend and front end. That is another headache. How to integrate front end application and backend application, n number of issues will come. Those issues also we have to resolve. Front end application we need to deploy separately. Backend application we need to deploy separately. Backend URL we need to configure in the front end. Front end should send the data to backend. Backend should send the data to Angular. In order to work with the Angular, we need to learn the TypeScript. To learn the TypeScript, we need to learn the JavaScript. Right? Angular is using TypeScript, not the JavaScript. TypeScript is advanced than JavaScript. So lot of story is there. So that is the reason I don't have any other option. That's why I'm going for JSP. Samjha? Right. Fine. So here for each items is equal to products. Where is equal to product? Where status is equal to index. Now index.count serial number will be printed. What is the first column? Name. Now let us take the product dot name. Product dot name. Perfect. Next one, product price and product quantity. Guys, don't think that JSP coming for free of cost. Let's attend that class. Don't waste your time. Free में मिले तो जाते हैं ना बच्चे. Don't go for that. Product name, product price and product quantity. Perfect. So with this, my logic is ready in order to display the data in the table format. For each tag I am writing, that is from JSTL. For each tag I am writing from the JSTL. Items is equal to dollar of products. Where is equal to product. Where status is equal to index. Index.count, serial number will be printed. Product object, I got it. From these items, products collection will come. From that collection, each product object I am storing into variable product.name, product.price, product.quantity. You imagine it is a for each loop in the Java. From collection, it will take first object, will print one row in the table. It will take the second object, will print the row in the table. Take the third object, print the row in the table. Now, along with this, in this table, on top of this table, I want to write one more hyperlink to go back to the previous page. Plus, add new product. For this, empty URL pattern. Why I am giving empty URL? My first method will be called. That will reload the page to enter the new record. Perfect. So with this, are you clear with this method? Are you clear with this method? What is the purpose of this method? It is used to load the products, right? So whatever the products I'm getting from the table, I'm sending to the UI by using my model object. Perfect. Yes, it is returning data. What is the data? Another JSP to print the data in the table format. That's it. Clear the console, refresh, right click, run as, boot application. Good, application started. Go to this page. Yes, we are able to load our form. Application restarted. What about the database? Database also restarted. Can I get my previous data? Gone. Previous data is gone. So my table is empty. I lost the data. Why I lost the data? Application got restarted. When application restarted, our H2 database will be restarted. Perfect. Let me insert a record. Mouse, price, quantity. Save it. Product saved. H2 console. Run this. Record is inserted. Click on view products. Record is coming. Now table बहुत गंदा दिख रहा भाई. Bootstrap नहीं है. One. Save this. Sorry. Refresh. Yes. Am I able to get the record now? Yes, the record is coming in the table. Click on add new product. Go here. Some keyboard. Price 2500, quantity 3. Click on save. Product saved. View products. Am I able to get the record? Yes. Click on add new product. Name. Some hard disk. Price. Quantity 5. Save. Yes. Product saved. View products. So whatever the records I'm inserting, those records are printing on the table format. Click on this table run. Yes. In the database, my records got inserted. If I stop my application, then what will happen? Database will be deleted. We will lose our data. Why we are losing the data? Because this database is a embedded database. We can call this database as a in-memory database. We can call this database as a in-memory database. Are you clear? Good. So with this, we understand what is H2 database and how to configure H2 database in the Spring Boot. So how to configure H2 database in the Spring Boot? Two things we need to do. One is we need to add the H2 dependency in the pom.xml. What is the second thing? I need to configure data source properties in the application.properties file. Are you clear? Perfect. Next one. As of now, we are using outdated technology for our presentation. That is a JSP. So JSP is outdated 10 years back, guys. Very legacy old projects are running on the JSP. As a alternate for the JSP, in the Spring Boot, there is in the Spring Boot supporting for another presentation technology that is called time leaf. Another presentation technology called time leaf. Let us go here and see what is a time leaf. Time leaf. Right. Official website is available, timeleaf.org. When this time leaf came into market, Apache, it is under license of Apache. Developer name is available, Wikipedia. Go here. Right. It is developed by using Java only. Stable release 3 months ago. Cross-platform. Template engine. Website timeleaf.org. So this is the official website of the Timeleaf. What is this Timeleaf? Timeleaf is a modern server-side Java template engine for both web and standalone environments. Timeleaf's main goal is to bring elegant, natural templates to your development workflow. HTML that can be correctly displayed in the browser will work with this Timeleaf. If you want to display your text, you can go for Timeleaf like this. Now we are using JSTL to iterate our collection. How to iterate that in the Timeleaf? Like this, we can iterate by using Timeleaf. So if th::each prod, this is our key. Key will be stored into here, prod.name, and formatting also we can do. So like this, Timeleaf is available as a alternate for the JSP to develop our presentation layer. Guys, now what is the problem with the JSP? Suppose if I am having JSP page, this is my JSP page. Now here I have a browser. Here I have a browser. Browser is sending a request for the JSP. When browser send a request for the JSP, JSP cannot send a response to the browser directly. Browser don't know what is JSP. Now, what will happen internally is this JSP page will be converted to one servlet class. Internally, every JSP will be converted to one servlet class. That servlet class will send a response to browser. So for every request, whenever request comes, every JSP will be converted to servlet, and servlet will send the response. Right. This is my browser, and from the browser, I'm sending a request. Who is sending the response? JSP is sending the response, or servlet is sending the response? Servlet is sending the response. JSP will be converted. JSP will be converted to servlet. Servlet is sending the response. So here JSP should be translated to servlet. It will take more time. It will take more time. On the other hand, we are having HTML. We are having a HTML. That is a markup language. It is used to develop our presentation logic. From the browser, I can send a request to HTML page. I can send the request to HTML page. That HTML page will give the response to the browser. Okay. Now, which one is fast? JSP is fast or HTML is fast? HTML is fast. Why HTML is fast? Why HTML is fast? Every time, whenever request comes to the JSP, that JSP should be converted to servlet. Servlet will send the response to the browser. Other side, when the browser sends a request for the HTML, directly it will render on the browser. HTML will give the response. Performance wise, which is faster? HTML is faster than JSP. But there is a problem with the HTML. HTML supports for static content only. In my JSP, I'm able to get the data from the controller. I'm able to iterate my collection on the JSP. So JSPs are used to develop dynamic web pages, HTMLs are used for static web pages. Are you able to follow this? By using JSP, I can develop dynamic web page, whereas by using HTML, I can develop only static web page. But in our scenario, my page should display the data in a table. That table data coming from database. Can I iterate Java collection in the HTML? HTML don't know what is Java. HTML don't know what is array list. But my JSP knows what is array list. JSP is a server-side component. By using JSP, I can develop dynamic web pages. By using HTML, we can develop only static web page. Are you clear? Now here, to avoid the problem with the HTML, what people are doing is, people are going to use time leap in the HTML. We are going to use time leap in the HTML. When I add time leap to the HTML, HTML can support dynamic content. Are you guys clear? So as of now, we are using JSP. What is the purpose of JSP? To develop the presentation layer. By using JSP, I can display dynamic content. I will send a request to controller. Controller will send some data to the JSP. JSP will print dynamic content. Whereas in the HTML, I can print only static content. Now, if I go for JSP, dynamic pages I can develop. If I go for HTML, static pages I can develop. JSP is slow. HTML is faster. Why JSP is slow? Why JSP is slow, guys? Every JSP page should be converted to servlet class. Servlet will send the response to the browser. Whereas in the HTML, directly it will send the response to the browser. Now, I want to use HTML pages for my presentation because performance-wise they are faster. In that HTML, I want to display dynamic content. That's where time leap comes into picture. If you use time leap in the HTML also, we can display the dynamic content. So time leap is a template engine. Time leap does not have any separate pages. Time leap is one engine that will be integrated in the HTML page. When you integrate time leap in the HTML, your HTML can display dynamic content. Are you clear with my point? Now tell me, what is the difference between JSP and time leap? JSP is a presentation technology. Time leap is a template engine. When you go for JSP, every JSP should be converted to servlet. Time leap directly can be used in the HTML. Performance wise, time leap is faster when compared with the JSP. Are you guys clear? Good. Now, in order to develop the projects by using time leap as a presentation, Spring Boot provided one dependency called time leap starter. What is that, guys? Time leap starter is available. When you want to use time leap as your presentation technology in the project form.xml, you need to add time leap starter. Time leap starter. Perfect. Now let us see one project with the time leap. Clear this. Stop the project. File, new, starter project. Yep. Let me go with this. 18th web MVC. Time leap application. Okay. Click on next. Dev tools. Then Lombok. Yeah, fine. Web. I'm not going to interact with the database, not required. So dev tools, Lombok, and web. Along with that, remember, do I need a Tomcat embed Jasper? Do I need Tomcat embed Jasper? Not required. Why? I'm not using JSP. I'm using only time leap. Select time leap starter. click on next, click on finish. You no need to configure view resolver also. Why? Am I using any JSP to locate a view file? HTMLs will be available in the resources folder. Spring can automatically detect my HTML. Now my project is created. Go to pom.xml. Yes. See the starter. Spring Boot starter time leaf. Web starter is already available to develop a web application. Time leaf starter is available to develop presentation logic with the time leaf. And dev tools available, Lombok available, and starter Tomcat is also available. Clear. Good. Next, let us create one simple controller class. Let me create it as controller. Yes, let me go with message controller. Message controller. Yes, make this as controller @controller annotation. Perfect. Next one, write a method public string get welcome message. Get welcome message. Let us map this to get mapping. Right. Now something like /welcome. Let me keep it as model. Controller will not change, guys. Does controller know that I'm using time leaf? Does controller know that I'm using JSP? No. Controller is loosely coupled with our presentation. Now here model dot add attribute key and value. Right. Welcome to time leaf pages. I'm giving it as message and a return index. Return index. I'm having my controller. In my controller, I'm having one method. Let me write one more method /greet. Right. Get greet message. Right. Message good evening. I'm writing two methods. Both are get request methods, but mapped to different URL pattern. So this is get welcome message method, get greet message method. It is binded to /welcome URL. It is binded to /greet URL. Perfect. Now both are returning the same page. What is the page name? Index. Now index is a JSP now, or index is a time leaf? Time leaf means a HTML. Okay. Let us create HTML. I will create the HTML under templates. Now you see in the resources folder, we are having one folder called templates. Earlier, I created my JSP pages in the web app directory. Now time leaf files, HTML files, we are going to create in the templates directory. So let me right click on the templates, click on new, click on other. Let us select HTML. Earlier I selected JSP. Now I am selecting HTML. Click on next. By default, where it is taking web app, but where I need to create template. So make sure you are selecting templates directory to create the HTML. Let me close it. Let me show you once again. In my project, I am having templates folder. What is the purpose of that templates folder? What is the purpose of templates folder? It is used to create my HTML files, right? So let me click on the templates, new, other, HTML file. Where it is taking by default? Observe, where it is taking by default? Web app. But where I need to create? Templates. Resources, expand, templates. Now I need to create my HTMLs in this templates folder. Perfect. Select the templates. Next. Next. Where is the file? What is the file name I use? Yeah. Index.html. Click on next. Click on finish. With this, my HTML page is created. In this HTML, I want to access the key. In this HTML, I want to access that key, right? Index.html, In order to access that key, HTML will support for dynamic data or will not support for dynamic data? Let us see that. $of key. What is this? $of key. I'm using that. Let us try. I want to show you how HTML will behave. Message controller / welcome URL pattern. Clear the console. Go to browser 8080/welcome. What happened? My key is coming. My value is coming. Car key is displaying as it is. What is the conclusion? HTML will not support for dynamic data. JSP will support for dynamic data. Now, in this HTML, I want to access this key. I want to access the value available in that key. For that, I need to add time leaf to the HTML. In order to add time leaf to the HTML, here we need to specify XMLNS:th, that is time leaf extension, and www.timeleaf.org. That is the URL of my time leaf. Let me check this. Yes, that is the correct URL of the time leaf. I'm giving timeleaf.org. Now here in the MVC tag library, form is the prefix. By using that form, we can access form tags. C is the prefix for the JSTL core. Using C, we can access JSTL tags. Now, what is the prefix for the time leaf? TH is the prefix for the time leaf. Now, let me go for $text is equal to $of message. Okay. $text is equal to $of message. I want to tell to the HTML, hey HTML, you print the text by using time leaf template. This is the key. Then time leaf will get the value available in that key. text. TH is a time leaf prefix here. Text. I want to get the text and I want to print it. Whatever the text in the key, get the value of that key, print that value. Now go to our application /welcome. It is coming or not? Now dynamic data is coming. Earlier, whatever the key I have given, as it is printed. Now the key is printed or value of the key printing. Value of the key printing. How I am accessing the key in the HTML? By using time leaf. How to add the time leaf? XMLNS:/th, time leaf URL. Now, by using th, we can access our time leaf. th:/text is equal to $of message. Now, let me go for /greet. Quickly, I'm able to get the response. Now, JSP is better, HTML is better. JSP is better, HTML is better. HTML is better. Why HTML is better? HTML is faster than the JSP. JSP should be converted to servlet, whereas HTML will give the direct response to the browser. By default, HTML will support for only static content. We can make HTML as a dynamic by using this time leaf. Are you clear with this? Now, whatever the product application we have developed, can we convert that application into time leaf UI? Why? This application, how I developed that application? By using JSP. Now I want to convert that application to time leaf. What will be changed? Do I need to change my controller? Controller is loosely coupled with the presentation. Instead of JSP, now I can use time leaf. I can display the form by using time leaf. I can print the data also by using time leaf. Are you clear with this? Yes, good. So what is time leaf? Why we are going for time leaf? Come on. Time leaf we are using to develop our presentation. Spring MVC support for JSP as a presentation technology as well as time leaf also as a presentation technology. Good. Previous project steps I have given. Boot application with embedded database. Yeah. So these are the steps we need to follow to develop our boot application with a embedded database. So now in this application, I have created one entity class, guys. That is our product.java. Let me give this material. Meanwhile, anybody having any questions from offline? Anybody having any questions? Huh. No. When you can do it in the two controllers also. This is a small application, right? Just two operations are there. If you have big application. In this project, just less operations only, right? Online students, any question, anyone? In the Monday class, what we are going to learn? What we need to learn in the Monday class? How to develop form-based application by using time leaf, how to display data by using time leaf, and how to perform validations on the form. As of now, my form is getting submitted, but I don't have any validations on the form. I want to perform form validations. Okay. In another 2 to 3 classes, we will complete our discussion on web MVC. Then the most crucial part of the Spring Boot course, REST API development, is going to start. Yeah. Online people, anybody having any questions, you can unmute and you can speak out.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah, hi guys, speak out.
Sir, are you going to teach Spring modules like Spring JDBC, Spring DAO, Spring AOP?
Sorry?
Sir, are you going to teach Spring modules like Spring JDBC, Spring DAO, or Spring AOP?
Will come later point of time will come. First, we'll focus on the most important part. Okay?
Spring Boot only, sir.
Huh.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, hi.
Sir, in time leaf, sir, how the MVC identify where is the page? Like in JSP, we have a view resolver.
Here
So,
directly whatever the view name we are returning, right? It will search in the templates folder directly. That's why we no need to configure that.
okay, thank you, sir.
Directly, it will check in the templates folder. In the templates folder, with the name, HTML file will be available and it will identify that. Okay?
Sir, why we use variables as private, sir, in most of the cases?
We don't want to expose variables outside the class. Nobody should access our variables directly outside. So that is OOPS concept, sir.
Sir, and one thing, like we use like XLMNS in the time leaf.
Yeah, that is a namespace to include time leaf in our HTML. HTML should use the time leaf engine, right? For that, we need to use that.
Thank you so much.
Sir, my question is regarding the application.property files.
Yes.
In application.property file, we have possible for the two database connectivity.
Connect with multiple databases. Yes, we can do it. That is future topic, sir. Future topic.
Sir.
In the future, we are going to understand how to configure our application with multiple databases. Okay?
Okay, sir. And second question is sir, in previous project, sir, there is a view page and you can be created one hyperlink, and that hyperlink clicking to the next page.
Yes.
It is the possible for the timely pages is going
Same
to
thing.
the
Whatever we are doing here, same thing we can do with the time leaf also.
No, sir. My question is the sir timely page directly redirect to the JSP pages. There is the two folder location. One is the template location and another is the web app
Yes,
location.
you can
In
do that. You
template
can use
location,
both time leaf and JSP also.
Okay.
You can do that, sir.
In same project.
Yes.
And direct redirect is possible, sir.
Yes,
Means
possible.
we can go to
Possible.
the
Possible.
family page to the JSP pages.
Yes, sir. Possible.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Hi.
Sir, can we skip that JSP and TimeLeaf and directly start learning Angular?
Yes, sir. We can do that, sir. But all these things are outdated content sites, sir. Why you need to bother much about on this part? Okay. If you want, you can do it, but nobody will do in the real time.
Okay, sir.
Just guys, people are asking questions. Why we are teaching? Why are you teaching JSP, TimeLeaf? It is part of syllabus just to cover. I don't want to get negative feedback. Sir has skipped some content. So whatever is mentioned in the document, I will touch that concept. Okay. I'm not stressing much on that. At least I will touch that concept. Otherwise, tomorrow you people will come and tell me, sir, you did not explain this topic. This topic asked in the interview. I got rejected in the interview because of this topic only. Like that you will say. Fine. So can you guys practice how to develop this, whatever the product application I have developed? Can you do that by using TimeLeaf on your own before coming to our next class? At least give it a try. It's not difficult. Now you know how to search in the Google also. You know how to search in the Google. How to develop a form by using TimeLeaf, right? Yes. It is HTML only, na? Yeah, guys. What is TimeLeaf? It is a template engine. In Spring Web MVC, we can use TimeLeaf as presentation technology. We can use TimeLeaf as replacement for JSP. So Spring supports multiple presentation technology. It can use JSP as a presentation technology, and it can use TimeLeaf also as a presentation technology. So here with the JSP, every JSP page should be converted to servlet. Every JSP page should be converted to servlet to send response to browser. Hence, performance wise, JSP is slow. Every JSP page should be converted to servlet to send response to browser. Hence, performance wise, JSP is slow. To overcome the problems of the JSP, we are using TimeLeaf. To overcome JSP problems, we are using TimeLeaf. TimeLeaf for presentation layer. To overcome JSP problems, we are using TimeLeaf for presentation layer development. To work with the TimeLeaf, we need to add below starter in the pom.xml. To work with TimeLeaf, we need to add below starter in pom.xml file. And controller wise, no changes. And when you want to use TimeLeaf, right? So we are creating one HTML. Here we need to create the HTML. Create below HTML page under SRC resources templates folder. So whenever you are working with the TimeLeaf, you need to create your TimeLeaf files under SRC main resources templates folder. So this is my project. In the project main resources, in the templates I have created my index.html. If you want, I can give my project screenshot also. Anybody referring this material? No, huh? Yeah. So this is our project by using TimeLeaf. Index file is available in the templates folder. Now, this is my controller and this is my HTML. So run the application and test it. When you run the application, we are sending the request to controller. Whatever controller is doing, controller is simply returning the index. What is the index now? HTML. Where is that HTML created? In the templates folder. If you see properties, am I configuring view resolver? View resolver not required. Okay. Now guys, I want you people to develop this product application, whatever I have developed by using JSP. I want you to develop this application by using TimeLeaf. This is my task. So this is a task we need to develop by using this structure. Right. UI pages, properties and all. Then we are going for TimeLeaf. Perfect. Yeah, done. What is the assignment? Develop product application. That's it. Okay. Good. Online students. Thank you guys. Bye. We'll see in the Monday's class. Okay. Please practice this example before coming to Monday.